What's up, staffing people? I just made this objection list for a client. So essentially, pulled a bunch of numbers, created outbound automation, tracked everybody that watched her video. And now what I'm doing is I'm sending the lead list to the rep. I wrote out a list of objections for the rep. I thought this would be helpful. The automation's great, the content's great, but being good on the phone is so important today. So these are the top 10 most common objections that anyone in staffing is going to get. Their niche is teachers, but if you're in tech, if you do finance, if you do accounting, if you do light industrial, if you do construction, it's all the exact same objection. So I'm going to show you the whole list. I'm going to go through how to rebuttal them, and you need to be prepared for them uh, if you're going to actually move the needle. Super important. So let's go through. All right, first top objection you're always going to get: we're fully staffed right now. I like optimism, right? Oh, that's great to hear. Most schools still like having a backup option in place for when something unexpected comes up, right? That's great to hear. Most companies still like to have a backup option. Most of the clients we work with still like to have a backup option. And then question. You get the objection, you acknowledge it, and then you ask a question. This creates dialogue. That's really the goal of calling a prospect, is some type of dialogue. If you make 100 calls and you get dialogue 50% of the time, you're going to be very successful. So, question: if someone called out tomorrow, how do you usually handle that, right? So if you're in tech, if okay, yeah, just out of curiosity, if somebody were to put in their 2 weeks right now, how do you handle that? Objection, acknowledge it, question. Let's do the second one. We already have a staffing partner that we work with, right? Again, I like optimism. Yeah, totally makes sense. Most of the clients that we work with do. This isn't about replacing that staffing firm. It's just about being an additional option when coverage gets tight. Question, right? When your primary partner is stretched, what's your backup plan, right? Question: when the primary vendor that you work with is stretched, what do you currently do, right? Objection, acknowledgement, question. Number three, budget is tight right now. A lot of folks have heard that over the last couple of years. That's nonsense. Don't ever believe that. Budget's tight right now. Yeah, totally understand. I hear that all the time. The goal is usually to reduce hitting cost that come with last minute coverage issues, right? So I like timing. I got Enzo in the background, licking my chair. I like timing with this, right? Budget's tight right now. Yeah, totally understand. I hear that. The goal wouldn't be to place anybody right now. The goal would be to see if, our partnership could potentially be a fit. The goal would be to make sure that we're in a good position to support you if a need does come about, right? So I like timing that type of situation. We're not hiring at the moment, right? This is another timing is good here too. We're not hiring at the moment. Yeah, no problem at all. This is more about being proactive. This is more about planning to make sure we're in a good position to support you when a need does come about. Question, right? Are you seeing more short notice needs or longer term gaps lately, right? Question: are you seeing a lot of turnover in your team? Are you having any retention issues? Objection, acknowledgement, question. Send me some information. This one is always this is the this might be number two smoke screen. Um, hey, yeah, but more than happy to send you some information. Before I do, what information are you looking for? I want to make sure, right? Make it about them. I want to make sure that I send you the right info. What specific information are you looking for? Most of the time, they're going to stumble here. They're going to, because they don't even know what they're looking for. They're just trying to get you off the phone, right? So good question here. Hey, are you more curious about the type of skill sets that we've placed? Are you more curious about the cities we support? Are you more curious about client testimonials? I want to make sure I send you the right information, right? Number six, hey, I don't have time for this. I'm too busy. Yeah, completely understand. Timing might not be right at the moment. Would a 10-minute connect next week make sense, right? Push it out, but don't just say, oh, I understand you're too busy. Good luck, right? Push it out. Totally understand you're busy. I get that. Would a 10-minute connect to see if our service makes sense sometime next week, sometime next month? Would that be beneficial? Number seven, we've had bad. Hey, we don't work with recruiters. We don't work with staffing agencies. We haven't had good experiences. Um, Acknowledgement here. Yeah, totally fair. I hear that all the time. Several of the clients that we worked with has said the same thing when we had first reached out. Um, just out of curiosity, what didn't work? Was it about the quality of candidates? Was it about how they communicated? And then you be quiet. And then look, they might try to push you off the phone, but at least if you have asked that question, you buy yourself a little bit more time and you increase the probability that you can actually book a meeting. We handle this internally. We have an internal TA team. Yeah, it totally makes sense. from my experience with other clients, when things get hectic, that's usually when talent acquisition relies on us. Um, just out of curiosity, what parts of the organization take up most of TA's time, right? These are deep questions, and I promise you, the majority of people in staffing and in solutions, they don't ask these questions. So you are going to surprise the prospect when you start to ask these questions. This isn't a priority right now. Yeah, totally understand. Again, timing here, right? Yeah, totally understand. When it does become a priority, what steps do you usually take, right? I also like, hey, totally understand. From our experience, from the clients that we work with, a proactive conversation puts us in a good position to support you when a need does come about, right? Make it about them. Um, right? So we send videos to our clients, right? No worries at all. So sometimes clients will say, hey, what, because I always have the reps mention the video, right? So we'll create videos for the founders, we'll create videos for the salespeople. And then when the rep calls, they say, hey, thanks for taking a second to watch the video. We track all that data and then we send it to the rep. So the rep will have 100 people to reach out to, and every person has watched the video. So it warms up the call a lot, right? Prospects sometimes say, what video? I didn't see a video. We can track who watches it. Don't push back. Don't say, yeah, you did. Say, hey, no worries at all. Our founder shared a video. The video was about insert pain point, right? Happy to give you a little background on that video, right? So go right into it and then ask your question, right? The video was specifically about the problem that X faces. This person I'm talking to should be X if you have a good ICP, and then insert how you help. Top 10 objections that most people will face in staffing. I hope that's helpful. Be great.